Hello, beautiful souls. It's Kimberly here, and I am jumping on. I'm jumping on a couple of different places today, and I just wanted to pop on in a more global sense here. I just shared a message inside Make a Difference Academy, and a friend reached out and asked if I would share it on a broader scale, and so here I am. I want to share with you three opportunities that you have during this challenging time. So first, let's just call it what it is. It is a challenging time. Um, we're here in California, where the governor just ordered last night the order to stay at home for any kind of non-essential movement. So you can still go to the grocery store, the pharmacy, the things we need. But otherwise, everyone is to self-quarantine. So it's definitely it's a world unlike what we're used to living in, and it's a challenging time. Um, but I do truly believe that even in the most challenging of circumstances, and let's just again tell it like it is, this is a situation that is out of our control to a great degree. There are so many unknowns, the unknowns around how deep this will go, how long it will last, and I get all of that. And our primal brain, hi Paulina. Paulina and I just spoke, and now I get to see her name again. Yay. And that beautiful son of yours. Um, but our primal brain is designed to move away from the unwanted, to run away from the unwanted. We have this primal brain that is set up in a stressful situation for fight or flight, to either fight the unwanted, to ward it off, or to run. And I think that we have such an opportunity, based on what we now know about the plasticity of our brain, the neuroplasticity of this amazing brain of ours. We can actually choose to experience life differently than maybe we have in the past. So yes, this is a challenging time. Yes, this is a situation, a circumstance that is out of our control by all means, but we still get to choose. Even though our brain may immediately go to the negative, our brain may immediately go to the being fear-based, the anxiety, the worry, the uncertainty that this situation presents can create, a ton of stress and fear and anxiety. But we can also choose to take it a different direction. We can kind of catch ourselves if we're feeling the negativity of going down that path. We're feeling the stress and anxiety of going down that path of worry. I shared this earlier this week, but I've always been told that worrying is like sitting in a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but it's just not going to get you anywhere. And when I look back in my life, you probably feel the same. Any situation I've ever been in where I just worried and worried and worried, it has done nothing to bring about a positive outcome. The outcome was whatever it was. And then when I look back, it's like, well, what was I worrying for? The worrying did not help in any way, shape, or form. So I think that we do have an option here. I think that we can choose to look through the eyes of fear, and we can choose alternatively to look through the eyes of love. And whenever you're in a situation, and I've said this before, but the greatest power you will ever have in any situation you ever find yourself in is to be the presence of love. And when you can look at a situation through the eyes of love, you start to see maybe small gifts, maybe small opportunities that, when you put your focus on them, can grow. And so I really want to invite you to take a step back. If you're feeling anxiety, if you're feeling stress, I mean, there are many things you can do. There are many practices. You can bring meditation into your life if you haven't already. It's still okay to get out and take a walk and be with nature. Do breathing exercises, start a gratitude journal. There's so many things that you can do to try to lower the stress levels. But I've learned that if we don't make a conscious choice to shift perspective and to put love on the forefront of the experience versus fear, then sometimes we bounce back from those practices and land right where we were before we dove into them. And so this is about taking a step back and making a conscious choice. You know what? In this time of uncertainty and challenge, I'm going to choose to experience it through the lens of love. And that may sound a bit esoteric. It may sound a bit out there and a bit foo-foo, because this is a real thing we're going through, and I get that. But here is exactly what I mean. This is where this can take you. When you experience what we're going through the eyes of fear, now it's about worrying if I have enough toilet paper. It's about worrying about how long is this going to last? How long do I have to stay at home? What am I going to do with my kids out of school? What are the schools going to do about my kids out of school? How are they going to support me? How are they going to help? I'm not getting paid for the work I was doing. What am I going to do financially? And how long is that going to last? And there's so many things we can go down the rabbit hole of anxiety that is, at the end of the day, not going to serve you or anyone around you. Or alternatively, we can choose to look through the lens of love and say, okay, this is a challenging time. This is an unprecedented, challenging time. But is there any way that this time can serve me and those that I love? Is there anything that can come out of this that can be a positive? And for me, I see 3 opportunities. And I'd like to share those 3 opportunities with you and invite you to join me in taking on these 3 opportunities. The first, it's all about being an uplifter. It's all about being a light. And I've said this before, I'll say it again. The world needs more uplifters right now. The world needs more leaders to step up. The world needs more light, because a lot of people are letting their primal brain take over, and they're stressing and they're worrying and they're, crying themselves to sleep and pulling their hair out from being stuck at home. And as we get to beyond this season and we look back, we're going to realize that didn't serve us. But what if right now we could decide we're going to stand up? I'm going to be a leader. I'm going to be a light. I'm going to be an uplifter. Okay, how can we do that? We have 3 opportunities. 1, be an uplifter for others. Look at how you can provide some kind of inspiration, some kind of positivity, some even help or hope for others in your community. Are there those in your community that maybe are at risk and can't even get out to get their essentials? In our world, we're keeping very close eye on my mother, who is 80 and has heart disease and chronic lung issues and diabetes. She's got the trifecta. And thank heavens we didn't take her to the airport on Tuesday like we were supposed to. She was flying to Alabama to see my brother. And luckily she agreed not to go. So she's here with me, and we're keeping close eye on her. And then my mother and father-in-law in Irvine, Tyler's grandparents, Gary and Barbara, also in that demographic that if this were to strike them, could be a very more challenging situation. And so look at your life, look at your neighborhood, look at your family. Are there those that you could be checking on? Are there those that you could be offering help and hope to in your local community? And then online, if you're like me now, for a couple of years, I've been, teaching both live and online. So I will be the first to admit it's been a smoother transition for me to kind of spend more time online with those that I serve and coach. But I challenge you to look at that. If you're used to only teaching live classes or coaching and working with people in a live setting, is there a way you could bring something that you offer within your skill set to this online space? Because one thing I really want to point out, they keep talking about social distancing, social distancing, social distancing. I say, to social distancing. I prefer to call it physical distancing. Do we need to distance our physical bodies to prevent the spread of this coronavirus? Yeah, but we can still connect socially, and we're hardwired to do it. And if you're craving social connection, then this is how maybe we need to do it for a little while. And that's okay. That's okay. It has to be okay. And you have to learn to thrive from the connection that we can create in this digital world. Thank goodness we have this digital platform, whether it be Facebook or Instagram, wherever you tend to spend your time, whether you do it through FaceTime or Skype or Zoom or whatever. We have all of these outlets now, these portals that allow us to connect with each other. And so how can you use those portals, those platforms, to be able to uplift others? How can you serve others and add value to other people's lives in a way that maybe you haven't done before, either because you didn't know how, you weren't in a situation where you needed to because you had all this live connection, or maybe you just didn't have the time to. So now's the time. How can I uplift others? How can I be an uplifter for others? That's one. Two is, how can I be an uplifter in my own personal world? What are the things in my own personal world that I haven't done? A project maybe I took on that I set aside, I could pick back up. A project I've always wanted to begin that I never did because there just weren't enough hours in the day to do it all. The project around the house, the work project, maybe it's more time with your family. Maybe it is the bubble bath that I am so taking before the end of this weekend. And I've committed more than once this week. I'm going to commit here in front of all of you. I am cleaning out my garage within the next week. Bam, that dang garage, after a year of saying I'm going to do it. Now's the time. I like many of you, the place that I was working in a live setting, it's closed. That opportunity is gone. So that part of my life has contracted. But I realized I did the calculation, and that's 15 hours of my week that I can now maybe expand over here. So it can be through serving and uplifting others, seeing in my own personal world what can help uplift me and my family, my household. Maybe it's the book that's been sitting on my shelf back here I've been wanting to read for a while, or listening to more podcasts that inspire me. For me, I signed up for an online course as well. I'm taking an online course on top of it because it's something I've been wanting to do, and I just haven't had the time because we lived in a crazy go busy world where there just weren't enough hours in the day to get it done, right? So now we've been forced to slow down a bit. So let's see if we can see the gift in that. So how can you uplift others? How can you uplift yourself in your own personal world? And then the third, how can you grow? How can you grow your skill set, your knowledge, your wisdom, your experience? How can you grow personally, professionally, so that when the world gets up and running again, you have more to offer? How can you set yourself up so that when people are hungry to start, living life again, you can be even more of a light? So again, this is why I'm taking another, I do online courses regularly and online coaching and such for my own growth, personally and professionally. But if that's not something that you've, really taken on, I really invite you to look into that. There's so many online learning opportunities that it's hard to even, you would need a day to research all of it, but lots of opportunities to learn, to expand your skill set, to add to your toolbox in whatever areas, whatever industry you're in, whatever areas of interest you have. How can you take this time to grow so that you can then uplift your future? So how can you uplift others? How can you uplift yourself personally? And how can you uplift your future? So those are the three opportunities I think that we have, that if we had not been forced to slow down a bit here, we could miss altogether, or we could recognize that there are things that we want to do, but continue to put them off because we're too busy. And so I encourage you to take the time that you have right now to stay connected with your loved ones, spend more quality time with your family. From the sounds of it, my son has set up Uno Attack downstairs, so I'm going to head down and start playing Uno Attack. I don't know if you played this yet, but it's the little Uno with the machine that you push the button, it spits cards out at you instead of drawing. Scares me every time. I haven't gotten used to it, and I've played it like 100 times now. So more quality time with the people that you care about, and whether that be in person because they're in your home, or FaceTime them. We just FaceTimed Tyler's grandparents last night and had a lovely chat, and it felt like it's the next best thing to being in the same room with someone. So stay connected. Use this time to create gifts. Use this time to create benefit for yourself, for others, and for the world. Again, I will say we need more leaders to step up. And I think that these three opportunities are a way you can do it. We need more uplifters. We need more people to be a light in a world that's feeling quite a bit of darkness right now. So I encourage you, I invite you, I even challenge you, if you're feeling it on your heart, to be a light, to see if you can take a step back when you start to feel the pangs of anxiety and say, no, wait a minute, I can actually choose to see this through a different lens. And then remember those three opportunities, the opportunities you have to see how you might be able to serve and be of value to others, to offer hope and help, how you might be able to be an uplifter to yourself, whether it's on a very personal level, like that bubble bath I'm planning on taking, or projects that you've been wanting to do professionally, personally, what have you, getting the garage cleaned out. And then how can you grow? You know, when in times of uncertainty, when you put uncertainty and spare time together, grow your skills, take some time to think about what you want the future to look like. Often we get so busy in our lives, we don't even sit and think about, and envision what we want our future to look like. And I think it's a really important thing to do from time to time. So no better time than now. And then take yourself down the path of opportunities to grow, whether it's an online course or a coaching program, in an area of interest or in your industry that you're passionate about. Look for the gifts, look for the opportunities, and continue to be a light in this world. We need you. We absolutely need you. I'm gonna just pop over here really quickly. Thank you all so much for jumping on. Looks like Brad is doing an online spin class. He shared the link. So if you're looking for an online spin class, if you have a bike at home. Sarah Ann, thank you. Paulina, thank you. Paulina, that's sweet. And Sharon, Sharon says, I started clearing the clutter from my garage last Friday when my gym shut down for the month, and spending lots of time with my oasis, or in my oasis garden. Ooh, oasis garden. Yes, Sharon, yes. Stay active, safe, and well. Yes, let's continue to fuel our bodies, our minds, our hearts and souls during this time, and be connected with each other. So that's all I really wanted to share with you today. I'm going to go play some Uno Attack. I'm going to probably go lose some Uno Attack, but I'm okay with that. I am wishing you love and light. We'll jump back on. Let me know what you need from me. Do you want me to jump on and work out with you? Do you want me to come on and share inspired thoughts again like I used to? Whatever might help, let me know in the comments, and I'll do whatever I can over these coming weeks. Michelle just let us know Ripped is hosting free virtual classes. Yes, Terry and Tina, thank you. God bless you. YouTube has lots of free workouts too. Plenty of opportunity to move and stay strong. But let me know what you need from me. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere, and I've got lots of love for you, and ready to share it in any way I can that will help. So have an amazing rest of your day, and until our paths cross again, remember the opportunities you have, remember the choice you have to perhaps see this through a different lens, to choose the perspective you're going to put on the forefront of your experience, and move forward as the light you came here to be. So sending you much love till we meet again. Take care.